There we go. Okay, so apparently we've got 3% false positive when they're doing this test. I wonder how much is false negative. Oh, I don't know exactly where that is. I think that's even lower. Oh, that's about 1% right now, it says. Okay, so which is worse, like, as far as marijuana testing? What's worse if you are the company that's hiring people, okay, and you don't want a drug user being hired? So, would it be bad for you to get a false positive or a false negative? Why do you say false positive?
I didn't say false.
Oh, what did you say, false negative?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Why did you say false positive?
Because they're doing drugs.
Well, no, a false positive is when the truth is that they're not a user.
Oh, it came out, never mind.
And it came out positive. So this is what we don't want, right? If you're a company, a false negative, because they're a user, but your test said they weren't, so you got kind of tricked there, right? What's worse if you're an employee? The false positive, right? Because that means that you could be not a user and still test positive. By the way, this percentage is so low that it's 3%. That's pretty low, right? You know what's really low? Getting 3% chance twice. That'd be 3% times 3%, right? So if ever you get drug tested for something, this is true information, okay? If you ever get drug tested for something and somebody says, well, it turned out positive, and you're like, oh, I did not do, like, you know that you didn't do any drugs, ask for another test immediately. Just be like, another test, please. False positive. And if they test you twice positive, I have, like, that's so unlikely if you're telling the truth. So don't get upset, just be like, oh, another test. Okay, all right, so USDA limit for salmonella, this is true, by the way, look how gross this is. The USDA limit for salmonella contamination for chicken is 20%. That means it's okay if 20% of your chicken tests positive for salmonella. Yeah. A meat inspector reports, that's why they always say cook chicken all the way no matter what, you know, like they're not like, oh, just don't try to do it. Like they're like, definitely do it, you know. A meat inspector reports the chicken produced by a company exceeds the USDA limit. All right, exceeds. What does exceeds mean? It's over. Okay, so it's, well, I suppose I should use the P for proportion. The proportion is greater than 20%, right? And the opposite of that is P is less than or equal to 20%. Which one is the H sub A? And which one's the H sub O? Yep, H sub A is over here, H sub O is over there. All right, so we have to figure out what a type 1 and type 2 error is in this situation, which one's more serious. All right, so let's do a type 1 over here. And here's a type 2. Okay, I'm going to try to pull this down a little bit. Okay, so the truth of the null, let's see, a type 1 error is when the null is true. So here's the truth. The truth is P is less than or equal to 0.2. That is true, right? But the test says it's false. So basically, a company should have passed the test, but the test on their facility said that it was false, so they didn't pass it. Okay? Type 1 error, or wait, did I switch those? Yep, I'm sorry, this is type 1 error. Anybody want some whiteout? This is type 1, this is type 2. All right, so type 2 says that the truth of the matter is that the null hypothesis is false. In reality, the facility does not have less than or equal to 20%. They must be greater than, right? But the test says it's true. Okay, so which one's worse? This is a company getting shut down needlessly. So this is company gets shut down. And what does this one mean? Does the company get shut down in this one? But they should have. Right? This is bad salmonella levels. Salmonella? Salmonella? But they keep running. So which one's worse? Probably this one, considering it like kills people and stuff, makes people really sick, right? But this is also pretty bad that your company gets shut down when you're still following guidelines like you shouldn't have been, okay? So you can kind of make an argument for either one. This often comes up on AP tests where they ask you to figure out the type 1 and the type 2 error. And then usually you can make an honest argument for either one of them. You just have to make an argument. So if you say type 1's worse and then you don't explain why, okay, you got the problem wrong. But like, you know, explain why next time.
So what I'm hearing is that every time I take a test on something, I should ask for a second one. That could be a false positive.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to ask for a second one unless, like, for example, let's suppose that you're sick, obviously really, really sick, okay? And you take a COVID test and it's like, you're positive for COVID. Well, it's probably right. But if you don't feel sick at all, and you got a positive COVID test, maybe go take another one. Do you know what I mean? You could be asymptomatic, or it could be a false positive. You definitely don't want to, like, let's suppose that you're not a drug user and you take a test and it's like, you're not a drug user. You don't want to be like, oh, another one, please. You know, like, you definitely want to be like, good job. That's what I am. I'm not a drug user. Like, come on. The answer's not always take a second test. Okay, now this one's going to go really fast. It's just pictures. Okay, so you're going to draw 3 bell curves. Good luck.